You are just 7 years away from being 50 years of age. I am 6 years away from being 50 years of age. You want to hear something very disturbing?
Oh, no.
25% of people, and I think this is going to get worse by the time we turn 50, 25% of people over 50 have experienced age discrimination. Okay. They say that they are unfairly treated in stores, restaurants, and hospitals, as well as generally being looked down on because they were older. Now, this is just 50 years old.
We should be paying respects to our elders, and if anything, you should be being treated better after 50.
The survey followed more than 7,500 people aged. I agree with you. 7,500 people aged over 50 for 6 years in the first major study to examine ageism and health. Their health ranks as about fair to poor for most of them. But 25% of them said that they experience age discrimination based on the assumption that they have failing health and on the assumption that they can't process technology. Now, what do we talk about all the time?
Oh, your mom and social media. No, but we do talk about...
Unfortunately, I feel really bad for being mean.
I just feel like she's always the example.
I'm being mean to my mom about social media because I think that takes a toll on people over the age of 50, and we're soon going to be there. Like, people are talking about Snapchat. I still don't know what this Snapchat does. Instagram, I still don't know what Instagram is.
Yeah, but I don't know if you know what Instagram is, but you don't know how to use it. That's fine because you never have.
I don't use it. I don't.
You set up our Instagram account years ago.
I know.
I'm like, why are we doing this? We have Facebook. You're like, no, this is it. This is where it's going.
I like to read words. I don't like looking at people's pictures. I think it's a bit bragatory, to be honest with you.
No,
so I don't
no.
No, it is.
No,
it
but
is.
there's.
I take more out of words than I do pictures.
Look at this. Look at this right here.
Wait. Before you show me, you're going to show me a picture of either your dog, a fish you caught, or a boat you're thinking about buying.
No. This is the breeder that we've got our dog at.
So it's a dog. This is dog related.
This is this is George's brother.
Okay, so it's a dog. That's a dog.
That's George's brother.
Technically not your dog, not your dog.
How do you
but
not
it's a
look at
dog.
that and just kind of make your day a little better?
Yeah, I want words. I want to process the information for myself. Sorry.
Oh, actually, that's not his brother. That's his sister. My bad.
Like, I feel like Instagram is a regression to 4 or 5 years old. Back before we knew how to read, we got books, and what were in those books?
Well, there's no
pictures.
Here's what's nice about it.
Pictures were in those books.
You know, a-holes can't really apply here. It's really tough for a-holes to live here, but the political a-holes, all the stuff that puts you in a bad mood on social media.
Yeah.
This is just people taking pictures, what they're doing. And if you have friends or you have family and you want to keep track or you follow some people,
you don't like
interesting.
To read, it's good for that.
There's a guy I follow on here. He's way into wine. He's a local guy. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot just from watching.
Words and look, you can look at his pictures.
Yeah, well, anyways, we'll do the Instagram 101 some other time because this might be boring to
There's words
else.
that go along with it, I know. I understand that.
You know.
But the picture's the big part of it. It's front and center.
I love the fact that your wife is always, I could see pictures of your kids and what you guys are doing. I'm like, hey, look at this.
Why would she describe what my kids look like? She could pose a picture, what they look like.
What's the poll question, Jeff?
Because there's another study that came out, and this is even worse, okay? This is even worse. So 25% of people over the age of 50 have experienced ageism.
You're going to be one of them. Because you just
I can't.
Reject social media.
That's not true. I love Twitter.
I
love Twitter.
You reject. Well, nobody's doing Twitter anymore. Old men. That's who's doing
right.
Twitter.
I know.
Yeah.
But I love
social media for old guys.
Yeah. People don't know how to read. Like older than 5.
Yeah. It's like a sentence or two. That's all you can write. So it's not like you're reading that much.
But it takes you to areas where you can read.
What I don't like about Twitter is because they had to shorten it. Now they have to have all these, shortened, hyphenated words or like these acronym words that I don't.
They doubled their character count. It's 280 now.
So people aren't doing that as much?
Not as much, and you could say a little bit more.
All right.
But it still doesn't take up your time by reading a whole document. If you want to get intrigued by it, and then you go and look at the document somewhere else. And then
I'm sorry to interrupt. Let's get to the poll question.
All right. If you think that's bad, to be discriminated on because of your age, listen to this statement. This is the headline for this study, okay? This survey. This is horrible. Slim people tend to see overweight people as
lazy,
blank, fill in the blank.
Lazy.
Lazy?
Right.
Worse than lazy. Less human. How horrible is that?
Well, how overweight? Like big fat people or like fat people like
Slender
me?
people.
Like people that have a belly.
Consider people with obesity. That's all it says.
Well, that's most of America.
Less evolved and less human than others. That's what the survey suggests. Public health officials believe that discrimination against people who are overweight is partly to blame for the dismal progress against the obesity epidemic in this country, despite the fact that 33% of Americans are now considered obese. What we know is those people are pervasively blamed for their own condition when a lot of times it's genetically driven.
Well, there is some genetic stuff, but people can also do something about it.
Could you imagine, though, if you made the same assumptions on somebody who had something else that you could discriminate against them, that they had no control over whatsoever?
Yeah.
Genetics? Like, we're talking about skin color. We're talking about facial characteristics. We're talking about hair color. If you were discriminating against people for those things, you'd be labeled a racist.
Yeah.
If you're fat shaming people, even though it's a minority, it's 33% of Americans, but a lot of them are genetically predisposed.
Do you think people in the South are fat shaming people? No, because everybody's fat.
Everybody loves it.
But if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast, there's a chance.
Yeah,
California, there's probably some fat
shaming. Try to be a fat
on.
person in San Diego. They're probably not going to fly. You have to move to Temecula or something.
You probably have to stay inside a lot. Terrible.
See? And we lend towards it. Santa Barbara, same thing. Come on. You think fat people running around Santa Barbara? No, they were driven out by the skinny Richies that live there.
So the poll question is,
who do you feel like is discriminated against more? Old people or
fat people?
Overweight people. I didn't say fat because it's derogatory.
Yeah, it doesn't. Just say what it is, all right? You don't have to.
The study used overweight people, so I'm going to go with what the study said.
You don't have to. Pardon my French,
but it's also
sugarcoat it.
Well, I am glazing it. Yeah, because I feel bad for those people because they are seen as less human by skinny people.
Yeah, I feel
less
bad
human is the worst thing you could like. That's like saying you're a dog. You know.
I don't feel bad for old people. I think I feel bad for the fat people.
I do too. That whole roller coaster, airplane seat situation.
Oh, how embarrassing is that?
It's the worst. It's the worst. And I understand it, you know.
I told you the story about my cousin. She got on the airplane in Seattle to come here, and there was a guy that was so big, his leg was half in her seat.
How big was he?
He was ginormous. And she had to literally sit at an angle, and her ass cheeks were on his leg because otherwise she couldn't be on the plane. Now, and I can't believe they let her fly like that.
Go back to how she was describing him to you. Okay. Did she seem like when she was describing him to you that she was referring to him as less human because of his conditions?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Because she said, I thought maybe he was coming to San Luis Obispo to get a fat surgery done or something like that.
So I consider myself to be overweight, but not obese. But I do.
You're not overweight. How are you overweight? Because you have a little belly?
Because I have loose skin, and it's kind of gross.
It's not too bad.
I mean, I could do without it. Maybe
calling yourself overweight is offensive to an overweight guy.
I need to exercise. Okay, but this website healthline.com came out with these things. 20 little things. These are just things that part of your everyday life that are making you fat. Are you comfortable going down this list? Do you want?
Yes, let's do it.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah,
we'll just say yes or no to if we do this. Okay.
Okay. Yes. This is great.
Okay. Eating quickly. Do you eat quickly?
Yes. You're supposed to slow down?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was such a big deal.
Yeah. Eating quickly might be making you gain fat because people who eat their meals quickly are more likely to be overweight or obese because they don't get their stomach time to get full.
Okay.
So if you take a lot of time in between bites, then you're going to eat a whole hell of a lot less. I do not eat quick. I've never eaten quick in my life. In fact, I'm the most annoying person to go out to dinner with because everybody's done and I'm still like halfway through.
All right.
Maybe that's my secret. I don't know.
Hold on a second. We need to look at this.
You drink a lot of water?
Yes.
Not drinking enough water.
You know I do.
Means that people
are
dehydrated. Make you thirsty. And thirst may be mistaken as a sign for hunger or food, and you might eat as opposed to drinking water. 2 cups of water right before breakfast leads to 20% fewer calories for breakfast time.
I like it. Okay.
I hate water.
Just drink it.
Here's you. Being too social. What'd you do on Friday night?
I was the first time I was social in a long time.
Very
So I'm
social.
getting better. I used to be way too social. That's how I got here.
Sitting too long.
Yeah, well, I do that.
In Western country, you notice I've been standing lately, and I purposely brought in a very uncomfortable chair to sit in because it forces me to stand up.
Should I be standing during the show?
You should, but the problem is with these damn microphone stands.
Yeah. Well, actually,
These microphone stands are making us fat.
yeah, they really are. We're going to sue the company. Watch, we're not going to be here tomorrow now.
No, good thanks.
Hey, there we go.
You
See,
did
look at. I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna try this. See what happens. Feels good to stand, doesn't it? Look at that.
You know how long we sit?
Stretching the glutes.
You know how long we sit? Is
4
Americans?
hours every morning.
Well, no, but the average adult sits 9 to 11 hours a day.
Oh yeah. What do you do when you go home? I don't know about
In the
you.
United States.
I jump on the couch, grab a snack. I bet snacking's on there.
I try to stay as busy as possible.
These are the things that make you fat. Number 1, eating too fast. Number 2, not drinking enough water.
Do you think
Number 3, not standing enough.
Do you think you get enough sleep?
No. Well, yeah, I think I do for the most part. I haven't this week, but
See, I sleep 6 hours a night because that's like the optimal for me.
I think 7 is what they want you to get, right?
I
At
thought
least 6?
I always thought it was 8.
Oh,
If
well,
I sleep
recommend
8
that.
hours. If I sleep 8 hours, I feel groggy.
Yeah, I think 7 is where it's at now. It doesn't say there on your little list?
Yeah, if you sleep fewer than 5 hours per night, you have a much higher risk of gaining weight than people who sleep 7 hours or more. I mean,
All right, we're going to drink more water. We're going to stand more. We're going to make sure we get enough sleep. That's important. And then,
not having time to relax. You have lots of time to relax.
stress is a weight gainer.
It was
I know
a
that.
stressful weekend of drinking, relaxing, rehabbing, and then fishing for you. If you don't have enough time to relax, you could feel constantly stressed and want to eat.
All right.
There's a way of dealing with it. Reduce your plate size. What kind of plates do you guys eat off of?
I usually just eat out of a bag. No.
Like a pig?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a horse?
No, they have the regular dinner-sized plate, and then they have like the smaller plates, like you put a bowl of soup on. That's what you're saying we should be eating off of.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my new thing, by the way. I've decided that I'm going to start eating is something, whatever will fit on the palm of my hand, nothing more, nothing less.
Cut out fruit juices, soft drinks, other beverages.
What about diet soda? Doesn't say anything about that, does it?
It says if you drink Coke Zero, you are a communist.
Okay.
So that's what it says.
Can you share
By the
this?
way, there's something to that Coke Zero because I was buying Diet Coke the other day.
Yeah.
And there was lots of Diet Coke there, and there was no Coke Zero.
That's my point. It's so much better.
Because I thought I was going to grab the Diet Coke, and I was like, well, Jeremy was talking about the Coke Zero. And I went to go look for it. It was gone. And I was like, oh, maybe there's something to this.
Coke is killing this country with diabetes with their regular Coke, and they're now killing the rest of us with this Coke Zero. Somehow, this is going to bite us in the ass because it tastes like Coke, and it is better. It's
What
better
if
than
it came
Coke.
out that it was actually just Coke?
Well, it's not because there's, there's
They'd have some people.
aspartame,
They'd have some people
which is
to
giving
answer
us all
to.
dementia. So you're either getting diabetes or dementia if you're a Coke
Is that
fan,
what yesterday was about? Too much Coke Zero in the rehab process?
I guess.
Yeah. Is that what ampsurf.org means?
Yeah, something like that. I've got to drink more water, apparently.
YowTube?
Can you
YowTube?
Can you share this thing for the
I
fat
will share it
people?
on YowTube so people can
Great.
get brain.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.